a big bike ride today, which is cool. I rarely get to ride with other big bikes. We got, believe it or not, another 950 out here. Awesome. You definitely don't see those very much. His is actually what they're supposed to look like, not all bashed up like mine. So should be a good day. We're out at Blackwater again. Last time I was out here, I know I said I was going to do some more of those rut videos on Eglin, and I still haven't forgot. I just happened to haven't gone out to Eglin recently again, so it is what it is, I reckon. But yeah, Blackwater, we got 3 of us. Should be a good time. But yeah, these 2 guys are from up north. I think one of them's from Tennessee and the other one's from Michigan, I believe. So they came down for the holiday. This is Friday, day after Thanksgiving, and they were looking to get in a little bit of riding while they were here. They came to visit family and everything, and brought their bikes with them. So I said, you know what? The wife happens to have to go into work today for a little while, so if y'all want to meet in the morning, let's go for it. So here we are. Show these guys around Blackwater a little bit, and try to cover some miles and see what they think about it. It's always interesting, you know. I'm glad that we at least have places to ride around here. It could be worse in other places. We don't have as good of riding as other people have, but at least we have something. So it's always interesting having people come from other places that have real riding, you know, mountains and elevation and you know, more public access and all that kind of good stuff, and you know, see how much fun they can have out here. Kind of gauge on what you're working with. Obviously, I'll never get on the level of the Appalachians with the guy from Tennessee, but like I said, at least we do have something, and it's fun. So yeah, I think I think we'll be going a little bit slower today. I know the one guy on the 950, he just bought that bad boy, so, and it's beautiful. So I don't think he's going to be doing too much in the way of aggressiveness riding today, but maybe after a while you might warm up into it. A little bit chilly out here this morning. Got some layers on. So yeah, here we go. Like I said, we're getting up here to the end of the trail, so we'll see what we get into, and keep you guys posted. I think I'm going to try to go and do some like I said, see, he's not going to be riding too aggressive, so I think I'll be able to slow down a little bit and do some tutorial type stuff, and kind of let you know what I'm doing, weighting my foot pegs and clutch and throttle and all that good stuff. So we'll see how it goes. Think it's going to be a good one. You guys hang in there. We'll catch up with you once we get into something. Here she comes, looking all shiny, stock headlight and everything. Look at that paint, still shining. Not dull like mine. Oh, he already done got himself wet. That'll be interesting. Alright, we'll catch up with y'all here in a little bit.
That's fun.
And as a bonus, got a surprise for y'all. I finally fixed my windshield, or replaced it, I guess you'd say. No more zip tied, cracked up, beat up, boogery old windshield. Got got the windshield, got some handlebars, fixed some bushings, a lot of little stuff like that. Tried to make my wheel a little bit better. Front wheel is getting beat up pretty good there. I don't know if I really made it much better or just made it different, but we'll see. That's a tricky one there. That rut was kind of, if you don't get over in time, it's going to catch you. Alright, seems okay. Some of those I hate when it's like you go through it and it's fine, and as long as you stay how you're supposed to stay, it's all good. But you can tell where if you were just be a little bit out of whack, that sucker will bite you. And it's kind of, I don't think it's rained in a little bit, but it's a touch greasy out here. Even just the sand and everything has a little bit of moisture in it, so it's not wet enough to have, you know, stuff like that with the mud. The mud hole is full of water or anything, but just a lot of moisture content. So it's kind of interesting, but we'll see what comes of it. Something like that creek right there, I didn't think about it until I went through it, but the road is turning to the left, but you want to kind of be on the right side of the creek there, just because at the time the right side was a little bit more shallow. But I was on the left, I swerved over to the right to get into the shallow. So basically, I'm leaning the bike over to the right, but keeping my weight over to the left. So the bike was leaning to the left, going with the trail, but instead I just stood the bike up. So basically, I didn't lean it over to the right, I just stood it up because it was leaning to the left. But, you know, I had to lean it right to get it to stand up. And, but then exaggerate my body weight over to the left. So basically the bike is going up straight so that I can go through that creek nice and tiptoey. You know, the bike's just standing upright, nice and stable, but my weight is over to the left. That way it kind of keeps me in that direction. And then as soon as I go through the water, then I can get back in my normal riding position and lean the bike and do whatever you got to do. But some of that little stuff like that is kind of what I'm talking about when I'm saying be light on the bike or tiptoe through here. You know, is basically you want to get the bike through whatever section, muddy, rutty, rocky, you know, or just something like that creek where I'm not really too sure what it could be. So I have to prepare for the worst. I'm going to get the bike, you know, nice and stable, pointed as straight as possible, standing up as straight as possible, and just, you know, send it through there nice and dainty. No throttle, you know, ready to attack the clutch. No brakes, no handlebar input. Just, you know, some weight transfer maybe and some balance, and that's about it. And the reason in that kind of stuff that you're wanting to be ready to attack the clutch is, like I said last time, you need to know the difference between friction and traction. So if it was something really slippery and I started sliding, my wheel is spinning, but it has, you know, an outside force acting on it, whether you're on the throttle or you just have momentum, whatever the case may be. You squeeze in that clutch, you're taking away as much of that outside input as possible. So now the engine, whatever the engine was doing, if the engine was just revved up, or it was engine braking, or it was you were giving it some gas, whatever the case may be, all that's taken out of the equation instantly. So that's why I say you're ready to attack the clutch, because for whatever it is making you slide. So now you're working with friction, which you obviously don't have very much of because you're sliding. So you want to get rid of that and pick up some traction. And then that's also why I say when you're doing that stuff, you don't want any steering input or brake input or throttle input or anything like that. At least, you know, if it is, it needs to be very subtle. Just because it's not going to take whatever you can normally get away with on your brakes and clutch and everything to then still have traction. You're not going to be able to get away with it in that scenario. So you're easily going to break traction, and then all you're working with at that moment is friction, which, like I say, you don't got very much of it. So you want to eliminate as much of that as you can. We're just cruising through here. Believe we shouldn't have very far to go to get to some more pavement. I'm fairly certain that the rest of this trail is reasonably boring. So that was my little spiel. Let me tap the brakes before I start rambling even worse than I already am. Pick up with you guys on the next trail. Down this trail, nice little hangout spot on the river. Truck parked at the end. I don't know what that means. If that's a hunter signaling to other hunters, but I would imagine in general this probably ain't a great place to hunt because it's, like I said, kind of a hangout spot. Do some camping and whatnot. Not seeing anybody wearing any bright orange, so I'm gonna hope that they're not here. Mess around on a hill or two, maybe get a picture or two, see what all's going on. Oh yeah, he came in. That's awesome. I just went up the hill to
that's the first big hill for this bike. I didn't know Florida had hills.
I went up that hill just nonchalantly to semi make them think you might have to go to in order to follow me. Sure enough, they followed me. So that's cool. The river's looking a little bit washed out. Oh, don't follow me that way though. All right. You seen which way we went up was nice and smooth. You can go down that same way. Yeah. Oh, he's trying to decide. I accidentally took a more difficult way down, assuming that everybody would choose their own way, but he probably didn't see it till the last minute because he's on a little bit of a hill up there right now, so it's kind of hard to see.
You could go to this far right over here. It will be your far left. There's a road coming.
Yeah.
Way up, go around the bushes and all.
And some people don't like going down hills. They rather go up. I'd much rather go down before I go up.
Yeah.
If at all possible. Just to lets me get a feel for what I'm getting into. How soft is it? How slick is it?
Yeah, we got. I don't think some of them hills up. You get going down, there ain't no slowing down. I mean, you're going down 35 mile an hour, dodging trees and rocks under the leaves. It's heck. Once you don't high side and come down there.
At least it crunk up for him. Guess it's a matter of personal opinion. Is the bike supposed to look like his bike or supposed to look like my bike? Supposed to look like his when you buy it. Supposed to look like mine when you sell it.
When did they put fuel injection on those?
Fuel injection on the 950. The 950 and the 990 are darn near identical, except the 990's fuel injected with a couple other little twists, but I think in 2007 or 9, because yeah, he made it.
Okay.
All right, so we took a little chit-chat break there at the river. I think this trail is pretty decent, so we'll pick y'all up and see what's going on. Let me see if I can do a little bit of discussion about how I'm riding. A lot of it may or may not dictate more towards big bikes than small bikes, so you have to, I don't know, I guess I could just piece it out, but definitely kind of on all bikes, depending on what you're doing. But on the bigger bikes, or if you have any bike that maybe is lacking some traction or anything, you'll want to be really conscious of how you're weighting the bike. So so that you can keep as much of that pressure on the good part of the tire and force it to stick to the ground as you can. So generally on a bigger bike or something that you don't have a lot of traction on, or you don't want to rely on it, when you're going around the corner, you're going to want to weight the outside. So peg. So if you're turning around like a sweeping left corner, then you're going to have your weight on your right leg. And so what that's going to do is counteract. So you're riding, theoretically when you're turned over and you're sweeping around that corner, you're on the left edge of your tire. So by putting weight on the right side of the bike, you're forcing that down because you're pushing down on top of it, because now the right side of the bike is kind of the top of the bike. Where if you were turning that long sweeping left and you were putting your weight on the left side, then it's kind of like kicking the legs out from underneath you, where the bike's leaning over to the left and you're also pushing down on the left. So you see what I'm saying? That's forcing it to go more left. So as soon as it goes to slip or you have an issue, that pressure that you're putting on the left is just going to add on top of it, where, you know, if you're pushing down from the right, it's going to kind of neutral it out a little bit. And it's nothing crazy or drastic. You don't have to do a whole lot, just enough to, you know, enough to keep everything happy. If anything, you can just kind of keep your weight neutral, but you'll basically be leaning the bike over and almost kind of keeping your legs the same. So it naturally happens. So once the bike's leaning over to that left turn and your right leg is staying the same, so the bike is dropping away from your left leg. So the foot peg's falling away from it because you're turning. And on the right side, the foot peg is coming up under your right foot. So you just keep that pressure on it while still leaning the bike over. You know, it creates what they call a weighted foot peg. And like I said, that's pretty much your long, you know, like a sweeping, just a regular corner where you're just trying to kind of maintain steady speed and just flow around the corner. Something like this right here. You know, if it was an aggressive sharp corner or there was obstacles in the corner, then obviously you have to address that, where, you know, what's more important here, the corner or the obstacle or speed or whatever the case may be. Or a dead end trail. But yeah, that's kind of one of them. I won't make y'all watch this same trail twice. So we'll get up here and I'll pick y'all up on the next one. All right. See if we can get into some live action on this trail. We're going backwards down it, so hopefully no issues. But I think it's a pretty fun one, and it's straight-ish as far as having intersections. So I'm gonna just let these other guys figure it out. This is nice. Oh, that's a deep one. Yeah, this one I don't think, definitely not as noisy as the 300. Probably maybe louder potentially, but not as noisy. A lot of hunters out today, so I'm being a little bit cautious on these corners. Never know. Well, the blind corners anyways. Front tire all pumped up full of air because I'm tired of smashing it. I don't know, I don't like it. I don't like riding it this way, but I also don't like smashing it neither, so what do you do? One of these trails, probably that one, comes out on that other real sandy trail, which would be cool. if I could catch it on the way, but I don't know if it's worth it just to hit it solo all by itself. Not bad. Wasn't as long as I was wanting it to be. Let's see these guys splash through some ruts. They should be coming along shortly, I think. Maybe, maybe not. There's a couple obstacles, but I don't think it was that long of a trail that I would have really... There we go, had time to get a lead. Here we go. Oh, he dodged the rut, nice. Wish I could have done that. Still running? I'm still running. Sorry. I forgot I was running. I went radio silent on accident. Oh, hello, governor. What you doing there, boy? Quite alright, mate. Oh, I can't ever tell if that corner is going to be slick or not. That red clay is intimidating. I'm like, oh, here's some clay. Or not that corner, but any of those corners where it just turns into all solid clay. I'm like, ugh. If there's some mud right in the middle of that sucker, try to avoid it. And these blind gravel ones too. As much as these hunters cry about us on the motorcycles, a lot of them are out here hauling ass in their trucks as well. Can't neither one of us stop. Losing battle for me. So normally I would just want to hog up the whole road. Since I'm on the big girl, I can use that excuse. Hey, I don't have to hold my line. I'm on a big bike. But them trucks got to hog the road even more than me. Alright, pavement. Yeah, we're just hanging out, showing these guys around. Like I said, they're from out of town, so hit some pavement here. I'll pick y'all up on the next one.